Hello and welcome to the brand new FDT-TV Podcast with myself, Mike, and this is Ian. This is a brand new thing for us. We're just going for a pub chat kind of vibe, talking about football. Obviously, as you can tell, I'm an Arsenal fan. Ian's...
I'm a whammer.
He's a hammer. And the idea of this is basically just an idea that started down the pub. We started out years ago playing football computer games, chatting football, going to football, and we decided we wanted to make a podcast out of it. We are by no means trying to compete with the big players such as the AFTVs or West Ham fan TVs or anything like that. This is just for us. Anyone that wants to come along for the journey, welcome. And we're just going to talk about football. The sort of things that you come to expect from the weekly podcast is we're going to be talking about what's happened in the week, so talking about the matches for Arsenal, for West Ham. Yep. But we will be discussing other matches as well. Also going to be looking at some of the main topics that come up during the week, such as scandals or just anything football related in the news. Then we're going to be looking at the matches ahead for the week, or the weekend's matches. And it's going to be a pretty chilled vibe.
Very good. Should we hit the first section? What's the first section called?
So the first section is, what do you think of football? So in this section, obviously, we're going to be talking about the matches that happened over the past week or the weekend. There were some standout games that I wanted to obviously bring to your attention. I'd like to know your thoughts.
Yeah.
The first one being Brighton versus Tottenham.
Oh,
that was a great game.
It brought happiness to my heart. I was having a bad week. It brought happiness to my heart. I was ill. I see that, lifted the mood instantly. There was nothing else to it. Didn't see any of the game. Didn't see any of the goals. Just knew that Tottenham lost. That's all I needed to know.
It was a bit of a shocker. They were appalling. Literally, from looking at where they have been over the last few seasons.
Yeah.
Been in the Champions League final, finishing above Arsenal for the third year running. It was nice to see that they are actually the shadow of the team that they were even last season.
Yeah.
What I find really astonishing is last season they made no signings.
Yeah.
This season they have made a signing.
And landed him straight back out to Leeds.
No, I was talking about in Ndombele.
Oh, in Ndombele?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Quality player.
But just doesn't seem to be fitting in.
I think if he'd moved there 2 years ago, they would have won Champions League.
Potentially.
The only reason I say that is Eriksen is arguably their best player, wants out.
Yeah.
He wants to go. He's not signing a new contract. He wants to go. So that is a pain. Danny Rose wanted out. So, again, their first choice left back was out. Vertonghen and Alderweireld, they can't sign them down to new contracts. Where's their back line? You've got Davinson Sanchez, arguably, on FIFA, great player. Other than that, questionable, at best.
I had him in my team.
he makes some... I think he's got potential, but... And then you go on to Pochettino. I think he wants a Man United job. I think he's realised Real Madrid probably isn't a good idea.
Yeah.
Just because how bad it's got there. I think they're starting to age out, but I don't know what's happened. It just seems to be poison at the minute. So Man United, actually, Ollie's
Yeah.
Ollie's at the wheel, and hopefully he doesn't come through the front window because we're sitting here. But he wants that job. What a job!
It would
unlimited budget. They just throw money at it.
Well, they were saying on Talksport this morning that there's players within that team that have gone through 5 different managers.
Yeah.
5 different managers. That's not good for any team.
No. And I think they all play different styles. I think, Fergie, Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho,
Giggs.
Giggs. That's 6, Ollie.
Crazy.
Do you know what hurts me about that? Is that I was saying it years ago and everyone laughed at me. Is I don't think their team has got any worse when they won their last Premier League title under Ferguson. I don't think their team's got any worse. I think he was a world-class manager who could take a mid-table team and win the Premier League with them and be consistent with them. They lost him, it's all gone to pot.
But then you look at the likes of Van Persie, he left.
But he was at the end of his career. What's he done since?
Yeah, good point.
He was good for you. He had a good season for you, and then he went to them, had a good season for them. He's done, isn't he? It's like he's not. He went to where, Galatasaray, Olympiacos, somewhere like that. Fenerbahce. It's not the same quality, is it?
No.
And he's not banging in 25 goals a season.
Yeah. Well, he's retired now, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but he didn't. He
No.
didn't kick on, you know.
No, I know what you mean. Anyway, back to the Spurs game. So what I was trying to get at is that just from the few games that I've seen recently from Spurs, there doesn't seem to be any fight or passion within the team. They just look deflated. I mean, even the game against us a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that's an occasion, isn't it? North London derby.
It is, but I can say from just watching it religiously over the last 5 or 6 years, looking back over those 5 or 6 years, it's still not the fixture that it used to be years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
But they, rightly so, they were 2-0 up against us.
Yeah.
And I think we did fight back well, but if you were to look at them from last year, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have conceded. Well, they may have conceded a goal, but they wouldn't have conceded 2 goals against us.
Yeah, they made errors last year, but they weren't sloppy, was they?
No, they weren't.
But I just don't think there's maybe a handful of players who want to be there.
Yeah. Well, that kind of brings me on nicely to what I was going to ask you. Just want to know your thoughts on it. Obviously, we saw the injury to Hugo Lloris at the start of the match, which was horrific.
I only see a still picture of it, and it reminded me of being at school. There was a kid at school who used to play in goal, but he had disjointed elbows, so his arms bent the wrong way, and that's what it reminded me of. So it was a little bit nostalgic for me because it made me laugh because it was weird. But also, that's horrific. You wouldn't wish it upon anyone.
No. Even all rivalries aside.
Yeah.
We don't like Spurs.
No.
Being in teams in London, but you wouldn't wish that upon anyone and wish them a speedy recovery.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think that that was a perfect start to the game for them.
No.
And it did seem to kind of crumble after that.
Yeah, I think any maybe motivation they had after you see that happen to one of your teammates.
And you hear in the screaming and all that sort of stuff.
It sort of dampens it, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So I think their fight went. But would I be incorrect in saying that the young guy who scored both goals was his debut?
I think it was.
So I think maybe it's not necessarily Tottenham doing badly. Tottenham are maybe not as good as they were, they're not achieving as highly as they were, but Brighton, on the other hand, under Graham Potter, who was at Swansea and then, where was he? Norway before that? Different team. Put a young guy in, he scored 2. I say, well done Brighton. Not Tottenham are bad, no, actually Brighton are playing well. Well,
that was one of the things I think that's been highlighted over the weekend, is that a lot of people were saying about how bad Spurs were, but from watching that game myself, Brighton were outstanding. Brighton looked like Real Madrid.
Well, hopefully not at the minute, because that's not a good team to look at, is it?
I mean, obviously with the position that Spurs are in at the moment, they've had a bit of a bad start to the season. Well, no, not a bit. They've had a bad start to the season. Do you think that the international break will do Spurs good?
No.
You don't?
No.
Just because
have we got one? It's now international break, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no football. I think if there was one more game before the international break, and this is my opinion, Manchester United are playing Liverpool next, yes?
Yep.
Which is the same fixture that Mourinho got sacked in. I think that'll be Ollie's death. Pochettino will go to United mid-season.
Do you think Daniel Levy will allow that?
Yeah. Daniel Levy, don't get me wrong, people slate owners of Premier League clubs. He's an out-and-out businessman, and he, in my opinion, the best businessman in the Premier League. Gareth Bale signed a new contract. 3 days later, sells him as a world record club, or world record fee to Real Madrid. Everyone's got their price.
Yeah.
Pochettino signed a new deal. Why? Because he knew people had come sniffing around. He knew Real Madrid was interested. He knew Manchester United were interested. Manchester United need a good manager. Pochettino's there. He doesn't look like he wants to be there. His body language says he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, he did look well deflated.
And actually, if he leaves, will he take the likes of Ericsson, who's on a free, out of Villarreal, who's going to be going cheap? Even Harry Kane. Man United, they throw money at it. And Daniel Levy go, thank you very much, give me my money, and start again with someone else.
No, that's a good shout. That's a good shout.
So I think the fact, going back to your point, I think they're lucky that there's not one extra game. I think they keep their manager and the rest of their team definitely for one more game. I think after that, everything's going to be a bit nervous again.
We shall see. And obviously we've touched on the fact that Hugo Lloris, their captain, horrific injury. Do you think that they will cope without him?
No. I think they've got, I don't know, pronunciation of the name, Gazzaniga. Is their backup?
Gazzaniga, I think it is.
That sounds a bit more like it. Is their backup, who I think is a solid backup. Would I want him, if I was aiming to get, well, one, be challenging for the title, and two, be in the Champions League? No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
If I was battling relegation or I was lower Premier League, maybe even mid-table, yeah, I'd take him. But as a starter for a so-called big club, I don't think he's got the quality.
Yeah, I would agree.
I would say I'd like him to prove me wrong, but I really wouldn't. Like, that's the bad thing about it. I like to see the good in people, but just be as good as what I think you're going to be, and everyone will be happy, you know?
You're 77 rating on FIFA.
As I said, you know what they say about Tottenham fans? They're never happy. They win, they lose, they're not happy either way, and none of them actually like Tottenham. It's the same as the rest of the country. No one likes Tottenham, not even Tottenham.
I know a few Spurs fans that would probably disagree with you, but there we go. So next game I wanted to talk about was another game from Saturday, Liverpool versus Leicester. 2-1 Liverpool. Mm-hmm. It was a late drama. Mm-hmm. Obviously they got the penalty for the foul on Mane. Mm-hmm. I personally thought it was a soft penalty. From just from looking at it, I mean, you see it at high speeds, you kind of get it. It did go to VAR to be checked, but I don't know. I've seen penalties given. Sorry, not given for a lot worse.
Yeah. I didn't see it. What I see from that game was the bust up at the end between Andy Robertson and Azazi Perez.
Yep. Because
apparently he was over celebrating. I didn't see that bit. I just see the aftermath of it. And I think that shows Leicester want to be higher up than what they are. And I think, from especially a West Ham perspective, and I think you should probably be worried as well as an Arsenal fan, they're going to be the team, especially under Brendan Rodgers, who are going to be up there.
Yeah, definitely.
The quality, I mean, maybe not this season. If they don't get it this season, they definitely will next season, season after. I think they've got one of the youngest average ages of the squad. And some of the players, if they can keep them, James Maddison, Ben Chilwell.
Well, it's actually his first game. James Maddison's first game back from injury and scored.
Exactly, he's a quality player. But if they can keep that group of players together, Wilfred Ndidi, another one, young guy, but he's quality. And yet, if he can be mentored and grow and stay with those group of players, they're going to be a force.
I do agree. Yeah. They are ones that I'm a little bit worried about this.
But I think that passion from Perez, new signing, 30 million. When I see that 30 million from Newcastle, you've overpaid there. You mean he does score some bangers, but also would I pay 30 million for him? No, I wouldn't. But the passion that he showed, you think actually no, I'd want
that within your team.
That's what you've paid for. You've paid for that passion.
To be fair, I mean, I kind of get it. Like, it is gut wrenching. Oh, sorry, I can only imagine. It is gut wrenching. You go 1-0 down for a great goal.
Yeah.
You then pull it back again with a good goal. Possibly the goalkeeper a little bit to blame for the goal.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, at the 93rd minute. 2 minutes to go, and literally it was a bit of a mix-up at the back. Legs were flying everywhere. The tap on Mane, I personally thought it was already going down.
It's Liverpool though, isn't it?
It is. They're definitely getting the rub of the green at the moment, in my personal opinion. But what do you do to stop Liverpool? I don't think anyone has the answer unless you're whoever they played in the Champions League last week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, they are conceding goals, but they just keep finding that way to win.
Yeah, it's. But I think that's what makes a championship team, isn't it? They're grinding out results. They shouldn't have won that game.
No.
But they ground out 3 points. I think they'll chuck it away.
That's what I was going to say to you.
Last Christmas, they had a 10-point lead. They chucked it away.
And we're, 8 games in. They've got an 8-point lead at the top of the table already.
Yeah.
To be honest, their form is frightening.
I don't think they last. I think they've got too many games because they're still in every competition, aren't
they? Yes.
Yeah, so I just think the legs will go. They've not got, when you look at and I know it's the comparison always, but they're the two best teams in it. Man City versus Liverpool. If you take Liverpool's second team and compare it to Man City's, it's not a squad depth. There's some good players in there, don't get me wrong, there are some good players in there, but you put Man City's second team in the Premier League, they're going to finish third. Maybe second or first. Liverpool's, you do that and they're going to be in a relegation battle. There's not that star quality. There's not the depth. And I think that's where they'll trip up. Injury to Firmino, I think, is the key. You lose him, I think the whole front three is kaput.
From what I saw at the weekend with Salah, there was a bit of a nutty boy challenge going through him.
Yeah.
I've been trying to look out to see what extent of injury he's got, if he's going to be out for a long period of time, if it's just a bang. To be fair, it did look a little bit sinister.
Yeah.
But
do you not think he asked for that sort of challenge?
What, physically? Like, please come through me.
But when you look at how easily goes down, normally,
it's
either a slight brush or even there's no contact. It is a dive. So I think from the first challenge, I'm going to go through you. Well, maybe not the first challenge. I didn't see when it was in the game, but if you do that, then if you fall over, I'm just going to keep putting hard tackles in, and you are going to get hurt. And that's not how the game should be played, but also you shouldn't dive.
Yeah.
So I think he's asking for it to a certain extent.
To be honest, I think that's, as you said, with Firmino. In fact, if you get an injury on any of the front three, I think it could impact. I'm not saying for definite. It could definitely do that. And as we've seen, they do concede goals.
Yes.
So it's not impossible. I think what they need to, or someone needs to find a way because let's face it, we didn't. That if you get that goal, or if you take that advantage against them, you need to sub everyone off and build a wall around the goal.
Yeah. Bring on 3 goalkeepers.
So that's that game. Next we'll talk about the late game on Saturday. This may be a bit of a tough one for you. West Ham versus Crystal Palace.
Yep.
It was the late kick-off.
Yep.
The result was 2-1.
Yep.
Again, it was
bad VAR decision.
It was a late drama due to VAR right at the end. I personally thought it was a slow game. I don't know what your thoughts were.
I was looking forward to it because we all, like, in the last 6 games, we've beaten Crystal Palace. So I'm thinking, all right, we're going to win. We always have a slow first half. Doesn't matter if it's home or away, there's nothing. And our service is poor, our build-up's poor, our defence is poor. And I thought, actually, we were reasonable. I don't think they were good. I don't think we were good. I thought we were awful. But I think we were very cautious because we haven't got Fabianski.
Yep.
You're laughing at my pronunciation. I'm not good with names. Without him, we've got Roberto, who conceded 4 against Oxford the week before. And they're going up against Crystal Palace. Well, theoretically, look at the difference in quality of the sides. Crystal Palace, all right, they're not the best, they're not the worst. Should have probably had 15 goals. And you look at that performance.
Mm-hmm.
So every time we went back to him, he was just hoofing it. There was no attempt to pick it up or to just hoof it, get it away. We scored. Who scored first? I can't even remember.
West Ham.
We scored. They equalised. Yeah. So we should have had. We had the discussion the other day. Sebastian Haller. I don't think he's as good as what everyone's making out. He scored a couple of goals. There's another person who did that. Dimitri Payet. Look what happened to him. Everyone thought he was wonderful. He had his own song, everything. We don't speak of him anymore. But
you shall not be named.
He on his own should have had at least 6 in the first half, and they were all from this far away.
Yeah.
And he hit the keeper every time. And there was one time he hit the post, and yeah, he did score. But where was your hat trick? You could have easily had a hat trick. All right, you can't count every shot that you have is going to go in, but you had so many shots.
Mm.
And it wasn't like previous games where I've seen him not get any service. He was getting service. He was just doing nothing with it. Sleepy Anderson, he hit the roof rather than the goal.
To be fair, I have seen him play better games. There was a couple of moments, and even he was of that impression. I think there was once he was running down the wing, tried to put a cross in, ended up scuffing it, going out.
He's awful. And I just feel really bad because every time I talk about West Ham, it's like how bad we are. We're doing really well at the minute, but he's not adding to it. He'll have a quick counter attack or a quick build up. He'll get it and stop, and play at his own place and do a couple of step out, and then give the ball away, rather than a quick 1-2 bomb, and you're in. And it's just frustrating to watch. Because it's like we should have so much more. You're meant to be this Brazilian like master who beats players, and you did it once or twice. You nutmeg a couple of players, but actually, I'd rather watch Mikel Antonio and Yarmolenko play one of them slightly out of position. Get Robert Snodgrass in there, because alright, yeah, they might make mistakes, same as Anderson, but also they've got the option of just running it or putting the long ball in. You know, it's just frustrating.
But wasn't that one of the arguments with
West Ham way is a load of shit. It's a load of shit because at the West Ham way is to play a couple of good games, have a Di Canio, a Payet, a Lanzini who puts in a couple of nice passes, a couple of skill moves. And then every third season, battle for relegation or get relegated. That's the West Ham way. It has been since I've been born. Like, so when people are like, let's do the West Ham way. No, let's not do that. It's not been working, has it? What's it done? We've won nothing since the World Cup.
Had to get there.
We've won nothing since the World Cup. So try something different. Stop saying the West Ham way. Oh, when you see the big fat blokes who moan about it. Oh, when I was young, it's the West Ham way. Your memory's shit. Like you sort of like, all right, yeah, we might win a big game, and then we go on and lose the next 10. I don't want to do that. I'd rather be consistent. I'd rather go, all right, we'll play some long balls, but actually we win. I'd rather win 1-0 every week than lose 2.
Yeah.
Or 2-1. And VAR can just go fuck itself. The bit that frustrates, I understand the need for it in the game, but they get it wrong. They've got what's his name? The head referee has come out and said they've got more VAR decisions wrong than they have right.
Yeah.
Well, at that point, something's not right. You've seen the videos online of them ordering takeaway into the VAR room in the middle of the game. Eat beforehand, eat afterwards. Like
it's 90 minutes.
Yeah, but also that's your job.
Yeah.
Like if I was to do out my job, it probably wouldn't go down too well. You know.
It definitely wouldn't in my place.
So do your job properly. The VAR decision, when you look at the screen, they have the red line for their player, which is the offside line. You have a blue line for our player. Where actually, if you look at it, the red line touches the Crystal Palace player's knee. The blue line is near Felipe Anderson's knee. It's not touching. If it was touching, then it would be a millimetre the other way, at which point they say, oh, that's offside. So it's just another bad decision that took forever.
I think the difficulty...
Get it right.
No, I completely agree with you. And this is where I'm in two minds whether I like VAR. No, let me rephrase that. I like VAR.
Yep.
From an Arsenal perspective. But just for these kind of decisions, there's still has been some grey areas where we're looking at toenails, armpits. It does seem ridiculous.
You're either onside, you're offside. It's not, oh, your toes are onside. Oh, that player's knee. No, you've got to be...
But I think this is something that needs to kind of be ironed out. And I get it's the first season that we're using it, but...
They've got to change the rule.
This is it. I'm not sure if this year is kind of like an embedding period. We can look at what worked this season. We can look what didn't work. We then kind of address it. Because for me personally, it's such a tough one because...
I think you need it.
We definitely did need it because there have been some decisions recently.
The offside at Arsenal
yeah.
was, what was the linesman doing?
Where it was 4 yards onside and it still flagged it off. But luckily we did get that goal.
Yeah.
Had it been last season, that flag would have gone up, end of. But this, as I said, this is something that I think needs to be worked on for the better of the game.
Yeah.
But I think this year is a bedding in period. Rightly or wrongly, it should have all been ironed out beforehand when you're bringing it to such a big competition as the Premier League, one of the biggest league in the world.
Yep.
These sorts of things should be ironed out beforehand, and they shouldn't be spending 4.5-5 minutes to make a decision because it kills it from that aspect of the game. But also, at the end of the day, it's open to interpretation. It's still one person's opinion or a panel's opinion.
Yeah. Well, they've got the TV screens, haven't they, for all the referees. I've not seen a single referee go and look at it.
No, you look at the Women's World Cup last year. This year, sorry. Literally every decision was being referred to VAR. Every referee was going over.
Men's World Cup year previous, I think the VAR there worked.
Massively.
And it was... Alright, people going, it took forever. It didn't. It took 30 seconds. It's not like now, we've got to check every goal for something and we check every... But then they're not overturning decisions. So has someone got to have a leg broken before they overturn a wrong decision for a red card or a foul or something like that? Or is it a case that just scrap it? Go back to having, okay, we get errors. But actually it quickens up the game.
There are a lot of people, I know, listening to TalkSport, again, the opinion's so divided. It's it's definitely a Marmite thing. You either do love it or you do hate it.
I just don't know how it's so wrong. Rugby,
because
they've got how many players in a rugby team? 11? 22 blokes jumping on a ball, yet they get that decision right really quick.
But this is another thing that I think that the FA is got so wrong, is that we had, as far as I'm aware, the opportunity was there for when VAR was being, or VAR was being introduced, we could have gone out to sports such as American football, rugby, where they use this sort of stuff all the time now to get pointers on and stuff. And as you said, the decisions are always right. Where
do you know what do you know what I think would help with it? Sorry to cut you off.
Go for it.
If you could hear what the ref is saying, what the linesmen are saying, the bit that annoys me the hell out of me is players and linesmen and officials talking like this. What are you talking about? What's that secret? What are you saying? Is it, I'm not going to give him that because he's in my fantasy team? Right, you know? What are you talking about? It's on the pitch. You should be able to hear it.
Yeah,
Mic it up. Let us hear. And that will get rid of any discrepancy, won't it? Because people know what's going on.
I know in some leagues around the world they have actually done that, and I remember seeing an Australian football game. I think it was this referee's last game, and they did mic him up for that game.
He's in the championship now.
Oh, okay, but that was brilliant. It was so good to hear. But I think from that perspective,
they would then.
I think it's our football culture, because it's a yobs game. Do you know what I mean? The amount of swear words and...
But it's a yellow card offence to swear at an official.
It's true.
You mic them up, you don't yellow card them, you're not doing your job.
That's a good point.
As much as it's a yobs game, how many... It's not right, you've got to be over 18 and watch football. How many kids do you see at a football game? There's loads of them. The language is unbelievable. I like a good swear, don't get me wrong. I really, really do, and I enjoy it, and it makes you feel better. But also, it's a game. I almost slipped up. It's a game. Sometimes you're not the best team. Sometimes you get things wrong. Sometimes your player does handball it. Declan Rice handballed it. Fair enough. You don't like to see it, and it does wind you up. Go, why did you do that? Just leave it, or put your head on it. Put your face in on it. I don't care. Don't use your arms. But there's no swear about it. You know, why are you swearing at the referee? Why are you swearing at the fourth? Why are you swearing at each other?
I think for the same reason as you've just said, that a lot of people like to swear. I'm not being funny. You go back, 30, 40 years ago, it was always some guys, we've been talking about, ooh. And you know what I mean? It's made its place within the modern vocabulary, that it could be used as terms of endearment.
Yep.
Like, I love you and all this. So, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's become, I think, so integrated within the modern language. Yet, any time you turn on the TV and
they always apologise for it.
Exactly.
I'm sorry for what you just heard.
Which is probably, it's fine because little Jimmy lives in the council estate. So that's like common language, you know what I mean?
I'm saying nothing. Saying nothing about people living in council estates. It's not happening.
Well, anyway.
You know that hate.
Mate, I come from a council estate. I know what it's like.
Yeah, but even so, I get what you're saying with that. But if it's written in the laws of the game that it's an offence to swear at an official, or at another, it's unsportsmanlike conduct, I think it comes under. But they don't book anyone for it. You can hear it sometimes when they're standing near the microphones for the corner flags, where they're telling them, you fucking got that wrong, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, that's a booking. And then when they swear at them for doing it, red card them. It will get rid of it. No, there'll be 3 players left in each team, right? But after 2 games, because they'll have to then forfeit the next games, they'll stop doing it.
Yeah.
You know, diving's the same. If you book people for diving, they stop doing it. No one books Mohamed Salah. Daniel James has been booked a couple of times correctly, a couple of times incorrectly. Wilfred Zaha doesn't really get booked for it. He does it sometimes, he doesn't others. But if you book him...
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane's another one. Harry Kane, he winds me up. People go, oh, Harry Kane's England's dearest. Yeah, but he also spits and cheats and elbows and dives and swears. It's disgusting. You don't need. It's not needed in the game. Yes, he can. He's a fox in a box. He can find a goal, but the rest of it don't need it. If he didn't have the rest of it, he wouldn't be very good. But actually, because you're England's dearest, you get away with a lot more. It just winds me up.
No, I get it.
I mean, I like football. I support my team. I want to see my team win. But at the end of the day, when you were the worst team, as long as they've tried, better team won on the night.
Yeah.
Let's go next week. No? There's no need to go and smash up the front of a shop and swear at everyone about it. Yeah, alright, it's not nice when people go, oh, your team's shit. Yeah, we were this week. We'll be better next week. But as long as you leave 100% out there, don't matter.
I think
tried.
Certainly for us, I think that's been some of the criticisms of the team and some of the players, but we can talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've spoken before about this.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think West Ham will finish this season?
If the keeper hadn't got injured, I would have said we would have been 6th or 7th. We're 8th at the minute. They've said he'll be out for less than 3 months, but I think they'll try and rush him back and he'll get injured again. So unless we recall Nathan Trott from his loan spell and put him in, I'm going to say 12th, 13th maybe, just because the defence, alright, it's a little bit shaky, but Fabian Anstey kept out the goals. He's a fantastic goalkeeper. I don't think he should be with us. I think when we bought him for 8 million, I thought, oh, we've overpaid there. That's because you just got memories of him being at you and just being useless. But actually, quality keeper. He's learned from his mistakes. I think he's done what I like to do: foul big and foul often. But he's learned from all of those mistakes, which is why he's so good now. Yeah. But without him, I don't think we've got a team. Not one player makes a team, but the security is not there that he's able to make that save. So the confidence has gone.
I think you will finish, this is just my opinion, I think you'll finish higher than you think you'll finish. The only reason being that is because from what I've seen, this season has been completely different from the last few seasons that I've watched. I do think you have got more of an identity now.
Okay, yeah, I can go with that.
I think Pellegrini has actually got his stamp on the team now.
Yeah.
Again, when he come into you guys last season, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a shaky start.
Mm-hmm.
It did take you a while to find your way with him, but then it clicked. I know you've bought and sold players as every other team has, but I think you've been unfortunate with a couple of results. But I think again,
do you know what it reminds me of? Slavan Bilic. First season, a little bit shaky. We did all right. Same under Pellegrini. Second season, phenomenal. That was our highest finish in the Premier League. Third season, he got sacked. Difference is they can't afford to sack him. 5-year contract, 45 million quid. Can't afford it. So even if he does do what happened with Bilic and tanks it, that just means we get relegated. Because they can't afford to sack him. And who do you bring in for someone for a relegation fight? I'd quite happily have Sam Allardyce back. I think he was the best thing that happened to us. Lots of people disagree with that because they go, oh, it's long ball football. But it worked. He didn't play players out of position. He got results.
I really like Sam.
He went to Everton and did the same thing. They were there. They were solid. They were hard to beat. People then turned around and went, don't want to play Everton. all right, yeah, it might be a bit of a lacklustre game. There's not that star power there that you would expect, but it worked. Look at Everton now. They've spent loads on attacking players. Should be smashing it when you look at it individually, but when you've got 8 players who all play in the same 3 positions, don't work.
No, I agree.
And they're struggling. Yeah, I don't know.
We should have a wager. Come the end of this, we should have a wager about who's about where you'll finish.
All right. I'll bottom half the table on game.
I'll go top half.
All right.
Right, so we'll come on to Sunday's games now. Okay, next game we want to talk about is the mighty Arsenal.
Yep.
My boys.
Mm-hmm.
Comfortable win for us.
Yep.
From what I've seen...
Did you play?
Bournemouth.
Oh, yes.
1-0 win for us.
That's it.
To be fair, from some of the stuff I've seen on news sites, they're saying that it was kind of like we held on to a 1-0 win.
Mm-hmm.
I personally didn't think that Bournemouth really offered anything to attack us.
Yeah.
It wasn't the most entertaining game for us that I've seen this season. I think it was a comfortable win. We didn't really offer much by way of attack.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we defended really well. Obviously, David Luiz got his first goal for us.
Yep.
It was a good header with an assist from Pepe. One of the things that I wanted to briefly talk about is the whole Pepe thing. Now, I've seen from lots of news articles, other podcasts, where they're actually talking about Pepe, and personally, I haven't seen much from him yet to warrant his 72 million price tag.
Is that how much he was?
72 million. Arsenal's record signing. I get that some players need to adapt to it, but for us, I think this season our youngsters have really, really shone.
Yeah, I think they should get more game time. Definitely, I think they should be pushing out the first team stars in order to give them a little bit of a kick up the arse.
Do you know what? I completely agree. When you look at how we played, how we've performed in Europe this year, again, it has been kind of with a second string squad. Yeah, looking in the cup, we're just absolutely blitzing any opposition.
I say it's a slightly different calibre of opponent, I think, to week in, week out of the Premier League. But if you're going on merit, they should keep their places.
Well, I think that's kind of a couple of the reasons. I mean, Pepe had an absolute shocker against United, and he was substituted off. He was substituted off again this weekend. Granted, he did get an assist, so there's a couple of assists and a goal he's got for us. But when you look at the likes of Martinelli, Gabriel Martinelli, the 18-year-old Brazilian wonder kid, I think he's definitely worth the money that we pay for him, which wasn't a lot. Saka, I think, has been absolutely outstanding. Granted, in his first game in the Europa League, a lot of people were raving about him. I was like, nah, I haven't seen it, but even since then, he's kicked on.
Yeah.
Joe Willock.
Joe Willock is actually, at the minute, my favourite Arsenal player. He wants to get everything is go forward, and it's do it quickly and just get in the box.
Well, another youngster I wanted to talk about was Reece Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he was running right in the Bundesliga last year.
Yep.
There was all the hype about him coming in. In the pre-season tour that we did, he did look really good.
Yep.
But then again, so did the likes of Martinelli, who I think should be getting more of a chance at the moment, considering we've got Lacazette out.
Yep.
But I've been a little bit disappointed with Reece Nelson this year, I've got to be honest. I think there is definitely something there, but I don't think...
I think he's unfortunately going to suffer from what I like to call Carl Jenkinson syndrome. And you laugh at that, but Carl Jenkinson at Arsenal was the almost player. I think he's still at Arsenal.
What, Jenkinson?
Yeah.
No, he went to Forest.
Did he?
Yeah.
But that can only be this year.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's the nearly player. He got a first team chance every now and again and tried so hard to impress that it all went a little bit wrong.
Yep.
When he came to us on loan, blinding. Because he was in the first team consistently and he wasn't, right, I've got, I don't know, 120 minutes this season, maybe more, to try and impress and get a consistent run. And I think that's what's going to happen to Reece Nelson. I think he's going to get fleeting moments where, all right, I'm going to chuck you on, you've got half hour. And in that half hour, he's going to feel like he needs to score a goal and get 2 assists. And it's not going to happen.
No.
And then he'll lose a bit of faith. And then he'll go somewhere else and he will blow it away. Serge Gnabry.
Yes.
I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, Gnabry.
Yeah, that works for me.
Look what he did to Tottenham.
Yes. Look what he did to Tottenham.
But what did he do at Arsenal?
Not a lot.
He got fleeting moments and he was under pressure to perform and didn't, and then has gone away. All right, it's taken him a couple of years. Hat-trick.
4
goals. There you go. Even better. One better than I thought it was going to be. But I think, and it pains me because isn't Reece Nelson an English player as well?
Yep.
So you've got potentially player that can play on the left and the right, who I think is quality, but actually isn't going to get the game time.
He's definitely going to be, I think, a cup team player for us. Again, with quite a lot of the youngsters that we've got, they're definitely going to be, well, just from what we've seen, as I said at the start of this bit, is that the youngsters, I think, are basically outshining some of the old guard.
There's a passion because they've come through the academy, they've been Arsenal, they want to prove a point.
Yeah.
I've been here, I've trained here, I've been here since I've been a kid. Martinelli's slightly different, I think, isn't he?
Yeah.
But it's potentially his big break. Mm-hmm. So, all right, if he doesn't stay at Arsenal, he doesn't want to go, right, I'm now going to play for a Spanish third division side. Mm-hmm. He wants to play for Serie A, Liga BVA, whatever it's called now, Premier League team. He doesn't want to go, right, knock that on the head. So they're there to prove a point, which they're doing. It's just Emery's got to be able to say, I'm dropping you. Put in a youngster. I think you could have the danger of doing that, which I think is maybe why he doesn't. If you do that, you please the fans until you lose 3-0.
And then it's blame the manager.
Blame the manager because he's putting all youngsters who are inexperienced, and you've got to stick with it. If you don't bring in the youngsters, what do you do? 5 years' time, you've got a lot of aging players in there who are good players and would still be good players, but their legs will have gone.
Yeah.
You've got no youngsters bringing, so they're still inexperienced. But they're now 23, 24.
Coming into their prime. Yeah, no, I do agree with that. So just for me, I do want to give Pepe time. I do think he needs time, but I'm just not seeing anything to make me go, wow.
The way I'd put Pepe to you is and because transfer fees are not what they once were.
Yeah.
So I take it as Neymar is a £200 million player. And this is how I looked at the Haller. 45 million quid. Is he a quarter as good as Neymar? Yeah, probably. Maybe a little bit more. So at which point we've got ourselves a bargain. If you look at Pepe, is he half as good as Neymar? Questionable.
Yeah.
So okay, so he's just over a quarter. So if Neymar 5 years ago would have been a £20 million player, and now Pepe was 70 million, that makes him £7 million. But if you bought him for 7, you'd be laughing. But I think it's just the inflated prices blow everything out of proportion. Because you think it wasn't that long ago that Real Madrid bought Gareth Bale for 80 million.
Yeah.
And that was the new world record, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It just beat Ronaldo's, I think. Mm-hmm. And at that point, he was a world beater, you're paying a similar fee. You're not getting the same player.
No.
You're not getting anything, I don't think, near the quality. I think he's got the potential because he's still only, 23, 24?
Yeah.
So he's still got a good few years in him if he's got the right management and he's given the right players to play around. If you put me in a Barcelona team 5 years ago, I'd have looked like a world-class player. And I'm really not. You know? I think if you put Lionel Messi in the Sunderland team from a couple of years ago, is he going to do what he does at Barcelona? No, he's not, because he's not got players around him.
Mm.
So I think if you can twist that squad, maybe 1-2 transfer windows, bringing in some youngsters around him as well, I think you could fulfill
to
it.
Be honest,
but
me personally, I think I'm hoping this is going to be the case. Obviously, we've got Alex Lacazette out at the moment with an injury.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that once we have Lacazette in the middle, Aubameyang out on the left, Pepe on the right, which is kind of the formation they were going for just before Laka got injured.
Yeah.
I think that's when we'll see him start to shine. I think
when you've got two players around him who know where to go.
Yeah. Because literally they can. Obviously, you'll have Laka through the middle, and you'll either have cutting down on the left or right. You'll have Aubameyang dropping in with Pepe providing the cross, and vice versa. I think that's potentially how that could work. I just want to see more from him.
What's your opinion? Just a quick one.
Yep.
It's not really about the game. Is it David Mallon, who plays for PSV? You sold him last year, possibly the year before, young guy, for £500,000. And there's now rumours about you bringing him back. He's a striker for 50 million.
Yes, I did hear about this.
Do you think that's going to be a Paul Pogba? You let him go on a free, pretty much.
Yeah.
You're going to pay a big fee for him. Is he going to produce? He's still only, I think he's under 20 still.
To be honest, I mean, just with transfer rumours and all that sort of stuff, I really, really, really try to ignore them.
Until you see it. Until you see Jim White and his yellow tie saying, this has happened.
It's very difficult for me to kind of take any sort of credibility from any transfer rumour until you see it on something like
a reputable site.
Like Sky Sports, your BBC News, that sort of thing. And I say this every single time there comes a transfer window. I always turn around to people and say, they say to me, have you seen we've been linked with this player? You seen we've been linked with this player? I'm not being funny, mate. We've been linked with everyone.
Every player, yeah.
Until I see it come through that the deal's being finalised or anything like that, I find it hard to comment on that sort of stuff.
That's fair enough. So does that mean...
Yes, is probably the answer to your question.
No, does that mean that now we have a platform for people to take in news and opinion that we can start spreading around fake news transfer rumours?
I hope so.
Very good.
Let's do it.
Spot the fake. That's a section coming in January. That is.
I'm looking forward to it.
Fair enough.
I'll tell you what, we're going to get some absolute belters coming through. What's that, Jim?
Mbappe to Southend for 8.5 monster munches. And a special handshake from Sol Campbell. Have you heard he's going to be the new manager?
What's happening?
Yeah.
No,
he had an interview the other day, apparently.
No.
I mean, I'm not being funny. This is really off subject. After what he come out with in his interview about, was it Macclesfield he was at previously?
It was a lower league team.
The things he was saying, how... Well, it doesn't surprise me at all that the Southend owner has gone, I know what would be a good idea. Let's get in Sol Campbell, because he's had lots of good ideas, hasn't he? If he does a job, he does a job.
Yeah.
I think he thinks he's better at managing than he is.
He hasn't really been given a shot though, has he? I mean, what, he come in January last year?
He did well in Macclesfield, but then what he said about it, that's the sort of thing you keep to yourself if you want to keep a job and you want to go into a new job. You're a public-facing person. You've got to be trusted to purvey excellence at all times. He didn't do that.
I suppose there's a whole learning curve for him.
It's a very steep one. And like, football management is not exactly forgiving, is it?
No.
And if you set off on that tone, because he's got, or because he is who he is, people know who he is. It's not a case of some unknown manager from a lower league club that no one's ever heard of before has said this, and in 3 weeks' time it'd be forgotten about. It's Sol Campbell. So every time Sol Campbell comes out, people go, do you remember what he said to Macclesfield? How disgraceful that was. It just baffles me why he came out of it.
Maybe it is something that he needs to kind of take away and learn from, but
I think maybe you should give me a call. I'll give him some tips. How to keep your mouth shut.
That's definitely not something you're not
It
good
is.
at.
It is. I should be an expert in it.
Alright, we'll just come on to the last game now. Newcastle versus United.
Yeah, we're going a quick one for this one, aren't we?
Yes.
1-0.
It was... to be
Cracking
honest,
game.
it was a great game. I think it was on the cards though, to be honest.
Yeah. I think Man United don't want Ollie. I think that was very clear the day after he signed a permanent contract.
Yeah.
They were all playing either to go to a bigger club or to impress a new manager. Sorry, pardon me. And the day he signed, that stopped. And they went on that horrendous run, which they're still on. I think their best three players, Wan-Bissaka, Daniel James and Harry Maguire, three signings. Yeah, right, good. That's because you've bought them, they want to play for you, they want to play for the club, they want to make that impression, they're new signings. The other one that has impressed me is Mason Greenwood. Young centre forward.
Yep.
Start him. Drop Rashford. His head's not in it.
No.
I don't know whether he's got a niggling injury. He's not the same player he was last year. He's not the same player he was at the Euros. He's just, or in the Champions League last year, not the same player. Just drop him.
Dan McTominay has impressed me. He's all right as well.
He's quality. Big Scottish lump in the middle of midfield. However, counterpoint, because I do like him as a player. I think he's their best midfielder. Matty Longstaff. The little Longstaff. Really little. I thought, when I was looking at him, I thought, because they're brothers, aren't they?
Yeah.
Sean? And I thought, he looked really little. He's ginger. So
Yeah.
fair enough. But when you see him next to your brother, he's like half the size. He's the pint-sized version of a Longstaff. But
It's definitely the postman.
definitely the postman. His dad won't be happy. Cracking goal on his debut to win. So quality for that. But also, he's a proper scout that wants to play for that football club. McTominay is a unit, and he was giving it some. Did he take any of it? No, he didn't. He was prepared to fight for that shirt on the pitch, and he gave it back. And that's partly probably pride, partly the area he's from, but also he wants to play for that club. So I'm playing for it, and fair play to him. I thought it was a quality job.
I agree.
Little ginger man. Whether he'll start, he's got to start next week.
Oh, definitely.
He's got to.
Definitely.
What a midfield that would be at the Qatar World Cup. Sean and Matty Longstaff. We need a lot of sun cream.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I mean, I'm not good in the sun, so I appreciate it. But like Qatar, mate, if you get called up, as much as I want to say, like, grab your dream with both hands and dry hump it into submission, just go, I'm sorry, Gareth. I'm sorry. I'll die. Just,
I'm gonna cook.
yeah, just. So Skype me. I'll support you.
Words of encouragement. That's good enough for me. Take me in the dressing room.
Yeah. The other thing I want to say about that game, and I don't know if you see it, but I'm hoping we'll insert a picture here. Here, right there. Yeah, I reckon somewhere around this area of St Maxim. Now, on FIFA quality, he's got his headband. It's not a Gucci one, but he was wearing his Gucci one. He weren't originally at the start of the season when he came on. He was wearing it with a big white bit of tape on it, and I was like, "What's that about?" And then I thought, well, advertising. Okay, turns out the Premier League don't want it. Sky didn't want it, and some of the other stadium sponsors didn't want it because they don't benefit financially from it. I think it drew more attention to the fact that it was a Gucci headband because it had a big white sticker on it than the fact that just letting him wear it, people would have gone, "Oh, he's wearing a headband."
Do you know what? This is something similar, but I remember years ago when I was working for a bank, they had a strict no tattoos policy, no tattoos on show, and it was just when there was a change in the laws that you didn't have to go in, or men didn't have to go in wearing shirts, ties, the works, and we were at that particular time, right, you can wear this, but if you've got any tattoos showing, they have to be covered up. I sweat profusely. I was a sweaty man. And there was no way that I was going into the office on a hot summer's day wearing long sleeve shirts.
Yeah.
So, me being me, I wore my polo shirts or whatever, and ended up covering up my tattoos with like tuba grip. And I tell you what, tuba grip. You know, like if you sprain your ankle, it's that like elastic bandage thing.
Mate, just wear a long sleeve shirt.
No, but I was doing it as a point because the whole reason that we were told that we couldn't have tattoos on display is because they were too distracting.
Oh, like your haircut at school.
You leave my bowl cut out.
You could come in with the deadest haircut in the world. Yet you have a nice trim, and it's distracting. I can't see my own head. Who's it distracting for? The wall behind me? The kid behind me who don't care anyway, he's throwing stuff at the teacher. My haircut ain't affecting his education. Maybe he wants to become a barber. He's studying my haircut if he's that distracting, you know?
But that was the thing. I went into the office.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
There's bandages around my arms. And you wouldn't believe the amount of people that were saying to me, "Oh my God, what have you done?" I was like, "I've done nothing. I've just got told I had to like cover up my tattoos." Mm-hmm. And then the rules changed that if there was anything offensive, fair enough, they had to be covered up.
You've got a big cock tattoo on your arm. Fair enough. I don't want to really see that, mate.
Or some bird with her legs akimbo.
Exactly. Yeah. The appropriateness. Okay. Yeah.
But why has it got to be Gucci? Why can't he just wear a headband?
It's just an image, isn't it? That's part of his thing.
What? Speak to Mike Ashley. Get a sports director.
Well, I think you laugh. I think he was trying to get him to do that, but I mean, I like Sports Direct. It's a chaos shop, but you get some banging deals in there.
Of course.
But yeah, I don't think it's not got the same. It doesn't personify, does it?
No, I get that, but
class. Sports Direct. Yeah, I can see. I can spot. Yeah, but I can spot the people who shop only in Sports Direct walking down a high street. They're a certain sort of person. I don't think that's what he wants to portray.
That's fair enough. But
you know, the people who not necessarily have got all their teeth, who always goes, "You got it changed for the phone." Like, I shop in Sports Direct. I don't do that. I don't shop solely in Sports Direct. Like, they do. I don't think he wants to say, "I'm only shopping Sports Direct. This is all I'm doing now." Because I don't think I think he's got all his teeth. I don't so. He's younger than me. You know? It's just madness.
But that surely that does come down to some sort of advertising rules. Then,
it'd be personal image rights, wouldn't it?
So if he was to get a contract with Gucci, then would that be allowed? Or
well, I'd probably have to I'd imagine I'd have to clear it with the Premier League and Sky Sports and everyone else and Mike Ashley and.
Yeah, but that should be the same as anyone else that has an Adidas boot sponsor or something like that.
It probably would be, but I just let him win. What's the point? Headband, yeah, like do you know what? It's really not gonna make me go out and buy a Gucci headband.
There'd be no point for me. No, apart from my sweaty head.
That's the reason for a headband, isn't it? But the thing is, one, I can't afford a Gucci headband, but two, I've now spoken about this Gucci headband to more people in the last couple of days than I ever would have done.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even given it a sec. I would have gone, where's the headband? Was it Edgar Davids used to wear his sunglasses?
Yeah.
Fair enough. He goes, oh, wear sunglasses, cool. Why don't you make him wear a sticker over them? I don't see their sunglasses, I might buy some.
You know? Like a bumblebee.
That's it, yeah. No, it's just... I think they drew more attention to it than doing nothing would have done.
I completely agree, and as I said, it goes back to that.
And it took away from my new best mate, Matty Longstaff. I couldn't get over it. I thought he bossed that game.
Yeah, I think
he upstaged absolutely everyone on that pitch.
There was I remember they were talking about him before the game, saying basically what you said. He's like the short version of his brother. It was his debut as well, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
How he would fit in within the game, and also that if there was any kind of scuffle,
he was in
there. but say if someone went through hard on him, his brother would come in, and vice versa. If someone went through on his brother, he'd come over and give him a chin or whatever.
Yeah, but I think although you say about his brother doing that and doing it brotherly, I think Matty Longstaff would have done that for any one of those Newcastle players. That's the sort of person. He reminds me slightly of Mark Noble. He's passionate and he wants to play and he just runs and does what he can. All right, might not be the best footballer, but he can leave it all out there every week.
And this is what we were saying earlier on.
What about leaving it all out there?
Yeah.
As long as you put in the effort, I don't care what result. You get tonked 10-0. If you cannot stand up because you've run that much, fair enough. I'll still be pleased with that result because you tried. It's where you come off and you go, well, our attitude wasn't right.
He didn't do this, he didn't do that. Yeah. No, I get that. And that's something, as an Arsenal fan, that we're all too familiar with.
Yeah.
Where do you think United will finish this year?
We've got Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Leicester, Arsenal, Tottenham potentially will finish above them. So Wolves maybe if they bring a comeback. Then you've got to look at the likes of Everton have got it in them. Will they? We're going to be around there. Burnley, I think, again, can do it. Bournemouth, I think they're going to end up in that group with us. Around mid-table.
I think it's going to be a shock.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's personified what I've been saying for years. And every Manchester United fan, and they're all the same. They live nowhere near Manchester. They've been to like 2 games in their whole life, if that. But it doesn't matter what you say, you're wrong. Doesn't matter. Manchester United are the best club. No, they're not. There's always a reason why you're wrong. No, they're actually the best team was the 1994 team of Manchester United. It's the same club. It doesn't matter. Yeah, right. They were pretty good back then. But if you said it now, oh no, you're wrong. We're not very good now. I just fuck them. I don't care. I want them to finish bottom. I want them to get relegated and then say you should never have let Ferguson retire. You should have made him into like the Terminator. That's the only way they're going to come back. Is if he somehow unages and gets back in there. He's the best manager in the world.
So obviously with their current form,
yeah, somewhere between 7th and 12th.
Okay, higher than you?
I don't know. I think they're going to be in that same mix with Burnley, Bournemouth, us. I was going to say Watford. Watford are usually in that group, but look at them. Ooh, that's going wrong. Don't sack your manager. Bring in an old one. There's a reason why you got rid of him. Sorry, Wolves. Yeah, I think...
I think they're going to struggle. I do think that injuries are playing their part this season, but...
But who are they missing? Martial?
Pogba. No, okay.
That's my opinion on Pogba. People are like, he's great. Yeah, he was great at Juventus. Or Juve, or however you want to pronounce their name. Or was it Sponta Monica or on FIFA this year? Who buys Pez to be Juventus? Why bother? The players' names are the same. Their faces are in there. You've just not got the badge. I don't care. But as I was saying about Juventus, I can't even fucking remember what I said about Juventus. No one cares that they're not called Sponta Monica or whatever they're called. Paul Pogba. That's what Paul Pogba. You've got me into such a rage, Paul. Right? One, biggest thing, he's French. Right? That winds me up. Why has he got to be French?
I don't know any about French speaking.
I can't speak French. Right? But France is a lovely place. Beautiful, beautiful country. Just the people are horrendously rude. Does my head in. Just constantly honking the horn. Mate, I'm walking along the side of on the road, on the path. Stop honking at me. Right?
Maybe I fancy it.
But look who he was playing with there. They weren't a team that were conceding much. They were winning everything. The bloke playing next to him was arguably one of the most underrated players ever, Pirlo. And it was only right towards the end of his career people realised his quality, because he could ping a ball anywhere. And actually, when you've got a level-headed guy that's a consummate professional playing next year that plays like that with Chiellini behind you, I don't know who was up front. Higuain weren't up front at that point, was he? But you've got good players around you. You put a young guy in there and say, right, we're going to mentor you. You're going to turn out good. Now he's the one who's meant to be doing the mentoring and pulling that team together. He can't do it. It's just...
But the thing that baffles me is the difference
he's
between...
He's got moments.
He has got moments, but maybe this just goes back to what you were just saying about the players you've got around you. But you look at how well he performed in United last year, I'd say he was fairly average. But then you look at him in the World Cup scenario, he was outstanding.
I think he's a tournament player.
It could well be.
He can turn it on. When he does, when he puts in those pinpoint passes, fantastic. But he's not consistent. I don't think he wants to be at United. I don't think he wants to play under Ollie. I think the season he had a really good season was, if I'm not incorrect, when Ibrahimovic was there.
Yes.
That was when he scored his goals and he was getting his assists. But what a player. You're not going to mess with him. You see the videos where he tried to and he was playing jokes at him and he got chased.
Yeah.
And he would have got. And Ibrahimovic, one of the best players in the world. Look at the things he's done. Every team he goes to wins. They didn't win it. Well, they won an FA Cup, didn't they, I think?
Yes.
So they did win.
No, that was Europa League.
Europa League. And they won something with him. But now he's gone, there's no one to pull him into line. I think he's got such a big ego.
I think one of the areas that United messed up this season was letting Lukaku go and not having a replacement.
I laugh at that because people were moaning about Lukaku.
Yeah.
He's rubbish. But actually, he was scoring goals.
Well,
he scored 25 goals at Everton the season before you bought him. All right, and then he had a bit. You got an allow. All right, you're not moving far. You've got an allow for adjustment period. It's new players. It's a new stadium. Argue much bigger stadium. Manchester United fans will probably argue they're much more passionate than Everton fans.
Yeah.
There's a lot more of you at every game, just because of the size of the stadium that allows. So you've got to allow for a season, maybe a season and a half to go, and now you've told him. But what's it left you? Because you've got no hold-up play now. All right, yeah, his touch wasn't always great, but he did chip in with goals, he did chip in with assists, and he added a lot more than just being a striker.
And this is the thing,
that.
you listen to a number of phone-in shows, just listening after, I'd say a good 80% of the United games that Lukaku was playing, you would have people phoning up saying how lazy he was, that there's no drive with him, and as you said, like when it come to him going, it was all like, "Oi." But they've really missed something by not replacing him.
I think, unfortunately, strikers get a hard task. If they're not banging in 20 goals a season, they're rubbish. I think a lot of football fans are very short-sighted in what else does he do. Zaza, for us, was awful. I mean, if he was doing what he was doing, fair enough. You'd be on the line and miss. You didn't score a goal. But he did run around a lot. And you think, if he could have... I mean, he started to do it at Valencia or wherever he went to, banging in the goals. If he could have done that at West Ham, he would have been a fan favourite. Because he had the energy, he had the movement, just couldn't find the back of the net. For one reason or other, it was like watching a donkey. There was one point, perfect ball come flying in, it was just him, and it hit him on the arse. It was like, come on, get something on it. But I think United fans didn't want Lukaku there. They liked the idea of him being there because he can score the goals. Alright, his record against the big six so-called clubs weren't great, but he added a lot more than just scoring goals.
So I would say one of our, not so much biggest losses, but there was definitely a period when Giroud went to Chelsea, and when Giroud wasn't being played for us, and you'd see him, he was one of the most prolific substitutes.
Oh, great.
But
great player.
He did those bits. He wasn't quick.
No.
But my God, could A, he hold up a ball, and B, he had a peg on him.
Yeah, but also, like Giroud, Lukaku, Andy Carroll, alright, you wouldn't pick any of them. They wouldn't be your first choice. But they had something. Go for a corner. Right, we've got to have two players marketing because he's good with his head and he's a big lump. So at which point that leaves a little bit more room for your little players, your quick ones, or the ones that have got a bit more about them, to find that space, put it in the back of the net. You don't think about that as a football fan. You go, oh, he's missed it again. Well, he's got two men marking him. Of course he's going to miss it.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, then the defenders are not doing their job. Just, I think they cut their eyes off to spite their face and then go, we need to spend more money.
That seems to be their answer to everything.
This is an interesting statistic. Up until, I think it was the season we bought Anderson, so 3 transfer windows ago now. If you took Manchester United's last 5 transfer windows individually, they'd spent more in those transfer windows as West Ham had at a club in the whole history. That's how much money they're spending.
Jesus.
It's only now with, I hate to say it, the idiots who went on the pitch and caused the ruckus that maybe made the owners think we need to spend some money, that we've started spending it and actually catching up. But they just spend so much money, I don't know where they get it from.
No.
I'd love to have that much money. Wouldn't buy a football club. You can't please everyone, can you?
No,
and
definitely.
as much as you'd get David Gold and Sullivan say they're West Ham fans, do I believe it? Not really. I get, okay, you like the idea of it and you might have an affiliation with the club, but if you're a fan, you don't buy it. You can't please everyone. You know you're never going to be able to please everyone. Don't try.
I think
Make a donation to the club's charity if you're a fan. like a sizable donation and benefit the youth or something around the club like that they give to. Don't buy it and go, oh, let's upset thousands of people.
Yeah, but I can't remember what I was going to say. Then it's irrelevant. Let's move on.
It's irrelevant. That I will put to you is Frank Lampard.
Okay.
Right? And there was a specific question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I had my teeth in there because that came out quite clear. Is Frank Lampard succeeding at Chelsea, or is it too early to tell?
To be honest, I was really surprised when he got the Chelsea job to start off with.
Right.
I'm going to be completely honest and say that. He's fairly new to the management game. No, he's very new to the management game.
Yeah, he's had a season.
I honestly thought he was going to stick it out at Derby.
I think he's glad he left.
Yes. Well, if
they'd got promoted, I think they would have been all right. But their financial side, the owner said it. I think that he's the most honest owner ever. He said, "Yeah, we've got to look at it. We can't carry on the way we are. We're not making the money." And I think that's fair enough because he's been upfront about it with the fans, so they know what the score is. I think it would have been a much harder job if he'd stayed.
Potentially, and that may be one of the reasons why he's come out, why he did leave.
Yep.
It's a really, really tough one. I think he may have been a bit fortunate as well with the fact that they have got the transfer bans.
Yep.
So that's kind of like a buy for this season.
Mm-hmm.
So he, from what I can see, from my personal perspective, is that Frank Lampard has got a year to get his feet into the club.
Yep.
Regardless of any results.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if they get relegated, then not too many people is going to be happy. But I think he's doing okay. The only thing that I will say is, what will Chelsea fans be happy with this season? Because they have got the transfer ban.
Yep.
Obviously, with Liverpool as it stands at the moment, they seem to be ploughing straight forward. So
yeah,
realistically,
they're not in that race, are they?
No. So would they be happy with just a top four finish?
Yeah.
Or are they expecting some sort of silverware come the end of the season? I personally think that silverware, with the fact that they have got their transfer ban, and I'm not saying that transfers mean everything, but I think with the fact that they've got their transfer ban, for Frank Lampard, I think it would be a success if he gets within the top four.
Stop banging the hand.
Sorry.
Hello.
I think it'll be a success if he gets within the top four, and also it will, if they do get any silverware, then it would be a bonus.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, because they're in the Champions League still, aren't they?
Yep.
I don't know. I'm not really been following the Champions League. Not really any need. Never has been.
It's not important, mate. Europa League's the one you got to worry about.
So I don't know what they're doing in that, but you'd like to think. You'd like to think that there will be a decent Carabao Cup run, a decent FA Cup run, and they'd be at least getting Europa League. I think because of the transfer ban, he's playing some of the younger players, which is pleasing the Chelsea fans because they weren't getting played under Sarri.
Yep.
And even when they have been losing, they've been singing his name because one, he is Big Fat Frank, and two, I think he's a cracking player, but he's Big Fat Frank. I think that makes him cuddly.
We'll have to try and arrange that.
Yeah, he's a Chelsea legend. He was a quality player. For the wrong club, he was a quality player, but
Not better.
Yeah, but it wasn't as good as his dad. But I think because he's got that little bit of leeway, Abramovich knows him, obviously gets on with him, so he's going to have a little bit of leeway there. I think because the transfer ban, which ends February 2nd, if I'm not incorrect.
It's the day after the transfer window closes.
So they will be able to then make agreements to sign players again. But I think by that point, if you haven't, you've had a season to stake your claim for a place in that team. If the youngsters haven't done that by then, they don't deserve to be there. Sorry, pardon me. I think because you've got the likes of Reece James, Tamori, Mason Mount, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Tammy Abrahams, they're all players that can be that quality of a player. I think when you look at them, and when you look at what the Chelsea youth teams have won, they've won everything.
Yeah. For
the last 5-10 years, or maybe not 10 years, but 5-6 years, they've won everything. Every time you go, it's the FA Cup, youth final. Oh, Chelsea won. The youth Premier League. Oh, Chelsea have won. So they can do it, but can they get there? You got Jody Morris, who's obviously worked with the youngsters as well, so he should know some of them. I don't think they're gonna pull up trees this year. I think they've got to be consistent. I think Tammy Abraham's banging in goals at the minute. I'll be interested to see what happens when he goes for a dry patch, 3 or 4 games where he hasn't scored. Does his head drop? Does he get dropped? Because you've still got Giroud there, Batshuayi. I don't know who else is there strike wise, but I'm sure there's probably other youngsters as well who are chomping at the bit to take his place. So it'd be interesting to see, and the same with a number of the other players. What happens when they have a little bit of a bad run? And I think that will be. Will the fans turn? You go if they go through a 5-game run where they pick up 3 points, maybe either from a win or 3 draws from games that they think they should win, will they start to turn?
To be honest, I think we've already spoken about this before. It might actually have been on this. I can't remember, but with the Premier League being such a results, any football.
Well,
it's a results business. I mean, you just look at us, for example. Last year, when we went on that 22-game unbeaten run or wherever it is, Unai Emery was the best thing since sliced bread. Everyone was glad when that Wenger had gone out or whatever. We had a poor end to the season. There was games that we were drawing or losing that we should have been winning. Losing the Europa Cup final, had a couple of glitches already this season, and it's like Unai Emery out. It is very difficult, and as we said earlier, that providing that you are playing the kids and they are doing well, happy days, because the fans are on the side that you're breeding the youth.
Well, you bring it through your own, aren't you?
And then, but at the same time, if they have a couple of bad results, what is the manager doing playing the youngsters within the team?
It's a poison chalice.
It is. Who'd be a manager, eh? I think Frank Lampard will do all right, but I think Chelsea fans need to be a little bit realistic with what they're expecting this year.
Yeah, I think the danger will be when the transfer when they can. Not when the transfer window opens, they still can't sign players, but when they can re-sign players, what's the choice? Because, alright, you've got to improve your team to keep up. So, yeah, he's doing it in a minute with, like, the youngsters, Mason Mount, Tammy Abrahams, as we said. But when it comes to the point where we can sign Dybala from Pablo Vermonte, or Juventus as we all know them, for what was he rumoured, 55 million, something like that.
I can't remember.
Might have been more. I can't remember the exact. But then who do you play? Do you play a player who's cost you nothing, or do you play the player who's just cost you 70 million quid?
I think it just
Who do the fans want?
and this is it. I think
It's a dangerous game.
it is.
You've got to strike the right balance. But I think that'll be what makes or breaks him. Can he strike that balance when they can re-sign players and carry on being consistent, or does it all go up in the air and they go, right, we're going to scrap the youth again and just buy players? We're going to buy it in ready-made. If he can strike the right balance, he will then go down as one of the greats.
Do you know what? I think you hit the nail on the head perfectly when you said it's a poison chalice, because regardless of how well the youth team do, I think as soon as you have the opportunity to spend money, if you're seen not to spend that money, your fans will turn on you.
Yeah.
Because
you're not spending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the fans are paying so much money into the club, they want to see it being invested, but you could have Tony Abrahams picking up the Golden Boot this year.
If he does, I'd love that.
But next year he could potentially couldn't hit a barn door.
Yeah.
And the fans will be like, well, why didn't you spend any money? Well, it was the Golden Boot winner last year. Do you know what I mean? That's
Tottenham are not going to drop Harry Kane for someone that they've just bought. They don't need to buy a first team striker. Yeah. All right. Well, that I think that's it for As Yet Unnamed.
As Yet Unnamed.
As Yet Unnamed. I think we've wrapped that up, that subject. So, have you got anything else, or shall we wrap up?
I think this has been a pretty successful.
It is. I think very the premiere podcast from FIFA Day Trophy TV.
It's been a good one. I've really enjoyed it.
So you've been Mike.
I have been Mike.
And I've been Ian.
He's been Ian. Thank you very much for watching to the end. If you did,
yeah.
If these are going to be a weekly thing. Obviously, we've got the international break coming up now, so we'll probably do a short one next time, just about the games, the England games.
How bad England are. That's what it'll be about. How disappointing we are yet again. Actually, no, it's qualifiers, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, England are going to be very, very good. We're going to thump Bulgaria and
Czech Republic.
Yeah, two places no one's ever been or heard of, by at least 15 goals. Raheem Sterling will be on top of the world. And then
we're going to win the Euros.
We're going to win the Euros until we get there, at which point we will be an utter disappointment at some point. And that will be the end of Gareth Southgate. Sam Allardyce, he's still got the best. He's still got the best England manager record.
100%.
100%.
Bring him back.
Bring back Big Sam, man with the biggest head in football. Right, I think that's it. We're signing off. We're done.
Nice one. Thanks very much, guys.
Bye.